Now it's opening day, and some would say the Braves are a sure bet to get their NL East sixth straight title, right? Now, Steve Cohen, he went on a shopping spree. The Phillies are the defending NL champions. The Marlins are the Marlins. So we're setting the stage for you guys as far
Yes.
as the NL East goes, right?
And the
And
Nationals aren't even worth mentioning.
that's what I was about to say. And that doesn't mean that team that we just did not mention
Yes.
doesn't exist, but they does. They don't.
Yeah, they do,
So
but they
yeah,
don't.
they do and they don't. Like for real.
Yeah.
And so for all intents and purposes, it's really just Mets, Phillies, and Braves who are fighting for this thing, right?
Right.
And so you look at it and you can say, like we mentioned, I mean, the Phillies are the defending champions, and they went out and they did some things in the offseason to bolster their roster. Like they didn't, just rest on their laurels, if you will.
Right.
So you think about that, and it's like, okay, well, okay, they've got Jose Alvarado, I think, on a 3-year contract, just as an example, right? So they get
Right.
themselves a lefty. And you're looking at, however, what you've seen out of the Braves and the acquisitions they have. And I'm going to mention Sean Murphy right out of the gate. Of course,
Absolutely. You
he'll
have
get
to.
the starting catch today with Max Fried on the mound. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, match for match, are the Braves the clear favorites in the division, or is it a 2 or 3 horse race?
I think they're the favorite. I can't say clear favorite because, like you said, the Phillies figured some things out towards the end of last year and went on the
Yeah.
run to go to the World Series.
Hmm.
But we did talk about this too on a previous episode. If you haven't checked it out, I think you need to go back and do a catch up. You might miss something. Don't every day, Monday through Friday, you got to download us and check us out. But Reese Hoskins, he's gone
Yes.
down, and then you have the Mets dealing with their injuries and Edwin Diaz and having
Yeah.
all these fossils and names that we've known for a long time to be good, but are they going to be able to make it through the season? You got Justin Verlander, Max Scherzer, all of those guys. They've spent all, like you said, they spent all the money, but we already know that at some point the Mets going to Met. That's just how
Yeah.
it goes.
Yeah.
It's not going to change. And when you think about where they are as a team, it's hard for me to kind of say, hey, I know that they'll probably be in the conversations, but when we talking about favorite, who's
Favorite.
the favorite, it has to be
Yeah.
the Braves because
Yeah.
of all the weapons that they have. Like you mentioned, the best defensive catcher in all of baseball,
Yes.
and Sean Murphy, bringing him in. There are many national baseball writers who have been saying how that was the trade
Yeah.
that was the biggest
That was the
acquisition
acquisition
in
of
the
the
offseason.
offseason. Yep.
Offseason, you know what I mean? Like a 9-player trade, and then now the Oakland A's or potentially may cut Christian Pache. Like it's just a lot going on with their organization. I think the
Mhm.
Braves have clear. Sean Murphy ain't even stepped on the diamond yet, and I
Yeah.
think that the Braves have won this trade,
Yeah.
hands down. So I think that when you have all of those factors going into play, you have to look at the Braves and say, "Hey, this is the favorite for the National League East."
Yeah. And look at the lack of reaction when we found out that essentially, oh my goodness, Kyle Wright is going on the 21-day or the 15-day IL. Like,
Right. Yeah.
okay. I
All right.
mean, just
Cool.
come on, Jared Schuster. Come on, Dylan Dodd. Let's do your thing. Like there was no blinking, no panic, no nothing from not just the Braves, but from other individuals like our insider Grant McCauley, who of course will be doing the post game shows this season. There was
Hmm.
no panic. There was no panic because this organization is that deep, and B, because of double A, there's always a game plan. So I
Yes.
think that's also what makes you maybe not a clear favorite, but a favorite in the division. And you made a great point as well. We only talked about Sean Murphy and what he brings to the table, but what about Matt Olson getting his like sea legs under him for real in this second season?
Yes.
Or what about all of the guys who were injured at some point last season or who weren't playing 100%? And just who weren't playing at 100%
Nephew
last season, and
Ronnie
now they're back.
Ozzie. Yeah.
Exactly. So you and I could potentially go down this entire 26-man roster and see so much talent, so much potential. It's crazy. And speaking of that, we'll talk about that in a minute. But here's another question that's kind of on the table, which I thought was very interesting. A comment from President and CEO Derek Schiller. So we were, of course, just talking about the Braves and whether or not they're the favorites or clear favorites in the division, meaning the best team in the division. But he actually made a comment recently about this team being the best Braves team ever. And I said, true, false? or to be determined, Jarvis? What is it?
Ooh, wow, it's kind of hard to say, right?
Yeah, that's
Because
what I say.
you got to go to the World Series team, right? You go to that '95 team. Obviously, you go up and down that roster. You got guys like Greg Maddux, Tom Glavine, Steve Avery, all of the John Smoltz,
Yeah,
like
hard.
I just named 3 Hall of Famers, by
Yeah,
the way,
yeah,
for those who's sitting there counting at home. So that's hard for me. That's just the pitchers. Like
yeah.
I haven't even gone into the
Right.
batting lineup yet. So those are
Exactly.
some of the things that they have to kind of take into play. So just based off of that, I can't say that. And then let's go to the 2021 roster.
Yeah.
Freddie Freeman is on that roster. Dansby
Yes.
Swanson was on that roster. Freddie Freeman,
Yes.
probably one of the better Braves to ever put on the Braves uniform. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So yeah, we're
Yeah.
talking about Hall of Famers. Like, yes,
Yes.
they have a deep roster. Yes, they got a lot of good talent sold up. Yes, Ronald Acuna, if the way he's on the track, if he's able to stay healthy, he might be in the Hall of Fame one day. Yes, that's true. But just looking at today, March
Yeah.
30th, opening day in 2023, yeah, Derek Schiller, I get how you pumping up your guys, but nah, bro, that ain't working.
Yeah.
That ain't flying right on this show. Not
Yeah.
not
I would
not
call
today.
it. Yeah, I would call it to be determined. Now, catch us on the other side when they are hoisting up another trophy
Yeah,
or
if they win one this year, we
then,
got that
yeah, then we
conversation.
can
Yeah,
have that
yeah.
conversation.
Hmm.
But I think for now, I might say more so they may be the most exciting Braves team
Yes.
as you compare them to 95 or even 21. Now, they might be the most exciting, but yeah, I think best is to be determined. Now, the Braves could also have within all of that talent that we just mentioned, and we didn't mention them all, but the talent that we just mentioned, Braves could actually be the first team in 27 years, Jarvis, since I believe the Rockies did it back in the day. They could be the first team with
Those
three
loaded
players.
teams.
Yes, exactly. But also,
Yeah.
let's be real. That was a hit. That's a hitter's park, too.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah.
Yeah. So
There's a
and
launch
Truist,
pad. Hmm.
yeah, Truist Park is a hitter's park, but nothing is like where the Colorado Rockies play. So taking that into consideration, the fact that there could be three guys, Ronald Acuna Jr., Austin Riley, and Matt Olson, can they get it done? Can they get 40 home runs and be that first trio in 3 decades almost to make it happen?
Wow,
Yeah.
man, that's an excellent question because I actually started thinking about it and started looking up and down the roster, right? And I don't know. I can definitely see Matt Olson. I can definitely see nephew Ronnie.
Mhm.
But that third though, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I think it's a matter of now. If you ask me, 30, 3 guys with 30,
Yeah.
and Austin Riley, gets going. I think I could definitely see 3 guys with 30 home runs.
Mhm.
And I can maybe even see 4 because you got Ozzy Albies
Yeah,
who's
see,
who's batting
yeah,
cleanup.
that's what I was thinking might be a little more realistic.
That
Yes.
21, that World Series team, speaking of,
Yes.
he hit 30 home runs and had over 100 RBIs. So
Mhm.
we know what his capabilities are. It's just a matter of health. And I think that, they can be in that conversation as the season goes along, as long as those guys stay healthy. But as far
Yeah.
as 3 guys getting 40 bombs, whoo, I don't know
I
about that one,
know.
T.
That's a tall order.
That's a lot.
Yeah,
That's a
right.
tall order.
Yeah, but I like where you're going with it because yeah, the Braves as currently constructed, you look at this team and it's like now 30. I would even throw in Michael Harris the second because remember what we got out of him in a half a
He was
season.
almost 20 home
Exactly.
runs, 20
So
steals, almost
19,
last year.
right.
Yeah.
So you exactly. So you have 19 home runs and that was from May on, right? So
Right.
what
Yeah.
if you get him fully healthy, 162 games? I might put a bet on 5 players getting 30 home runs, but I
Ooh.
think if I
Yeah.
had yeah,
That'd be
it could
something else right
happen.
there.
It
Yeah.
could
Yes.
but I think
Yes.
what I really put my money on is probably Ronald Acuna Jr. He was so disappointed that he didn't get those 30 steals last year. So I do believe he's on mission to try to get those 40 home runs and 30 steals. I wouldn't be shocked if that happens for him. But if you want to know all about the excitement for opening day, check out Locked On Sports today because this is the first time since about 1967 that all 30 teams are out of the gates on opening day. And I think
Nice.
that's so very cool. I am sure Locked On Sports today is going to give you all the reaction to opening day, even with these early games like the businessman special that the Braves are playing up in the district. So check them out, just like you check us out on YouTube or wherever you download your podcasts. Of course, you got to stop by ATL Day Ones first so you can listen to us give reaction and for the culture. But the next stop, Locked On Sports Today, and check them out in their take of the day.